Alien vs. Predator is a 2004 American film directed by Paul W.S. Anderson and stars Sanaa Lathan, Lance Henriksen, and Raoul Bova. Guys, if you're wondering why I seem to have suddenly stopped my Alien review series, this is it. Literally, this film is exactly the roadblock that you're looking for. It was this exact movie that stopped my progress just dead in its tracks because I had been dreading rewatching this so badly. I only had ever seen it once back, I think it was, probably back when it came out. I don't think I saw it in theater. I think I saw it shortly after, and I've always known that I would rewatch it. I just never really wanted to. So anyways, the plot follows an expedition led by Charles Wayland, finding themselves caught in the middle of an ancient war between two dominant species. I mean, clearly, as I've alluded to, I only really watched this film again so I could review it. It was my second watch, as I kind of alluded to as well, and honestly, probably my last. I can't see myself ever watching this again. Now, I'm not going to sit here, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and try to come up with my best AVP jokes and, go after the lowest of low-hanging fruit. Now, I imagine some fans of this exist, depending on how old they were when they first saw it, or, age, or just personal taste. I don't know. And where do we even start with this one? When you're trying to give it a fair shake, which is what I do with all movies that I review, when you aren't just writing a total hit piece. So I guess I'll take it back to before this film even ever came out. There was a lot of buzz around AVP, and rightfully so, right? I do remember being a super naive 22-year-old. And I did see Paul W.S. Anderson's previous film, which was Resident Evil in 2002, so I should have known better. I should have known exactly what to expect. I should have known that he was not the guy that was going to give us the AVP that we wanted, that we deserved. I mean, he spent a long time piecing the story together, writing the script, and I do appreciate that, but I just don't think it's very fucking good at all. We knew as early as Predator 2 that xenomorphs and predators had met at some point, and, we had wondered, what maybe that had been like, what happened. An AVP comic book did happen in 1989, which all of that I didn't know about. I gotta maybe check that out. Sounds kind of cool. And a movie script was written in around 1990, 91. And 20th Century Fox liked the idea, but they for whatever reason they shelved it for some time. When James Cameron learned that Fox was rolling with the idea, he was not a fan. Although he did like the film once he saw it, which I hate to say, but kind of says a lot about how far he has fallen, in my opinion. Ridley Scott, however, refused to even watch it, which I thought was great. Now, there are a few things, just a few small things that I did like about this film, oddly enough. It's a short list, but at least it's something. So I liked the heavy use of practical effects. I mean, who wouldn't? Who didn't? From what I read, it was around 70%. And they used as little CGI as possible, which, again, I completely respect and I appreciate. And as much as I'm not a fan of Paul W.S. Anderson, his work, I should say, minus Event Horizon, of course, I do respect him for, wanting practical creatures in his movie. I also like how there are numerous predators, and they all have their own unique traits, like the different helmets. I was going to call them masks. I think they're more like helmets. And I thought that was really fucking cool. But that is pretty much where it ends for me, as far as what I liked here. As for the things I didn't like, well, I'm not even sure where to start. I guess I'll start with the characters, which are all bad, by the way. We do have Lance Henriksen, reprising his Charles Wayland character because Paul W.S. Anderson wanted some story continuity. But the rest of the cast are just awful. Fucking awful. I'd say that almost everyone here is miscast, but it could just be a bad script. I'll just go into the two characters that, had the most screen time, and not just because the others aren't worth mentioning, because they're not. First, you have Sanaa Lathan, or as I know her, the cop chick from Dumb and Dumber. I'm not really sure what she was doing here, but her character seemed both out of place and completely pointless. Then we have Italian actor Raoul Bova, who I guess is the token handsome guy, but he's equally useless here. So we've got a bad script, weak characters, lame story, CGI that holds up poorly in most places, and an overly polished look. This entire film looks like a combination of a video game and a music video, and it's just weird to me. And to top it all off, AVP, for some reason, I'll never understand why, got a PG-13 rating, which is probably, honestly, my biggest complaint here. I mean, who in their right mind was in charge of that shit, you know? We could have at least gotten some cool kills and gore, and I don't know, we somehow just didn't get any of that. This film is one of the biggest disappointments in film history, I think, when you think about it. I mean, you have two of the most loved fan bases in sci-fi and horror history, and what we got was just, honestly, just a slap in the fucking face. And to rub a bunch of hot sauce-soaked glass into that open wound, the film was a massive, massive fucking success. It raked in over $177 million from a $70 million budget, but I don't think we are to blame. It rightfully should have been a flop, but we all had to go see it, you know? Our curiosity would have probably just killed us otherwise. I mean, you know it, and I know it. AVP is nothing more than Hollywood executives taking advantage of our passions. And sure, maybe we should have passion for more important things, but you know, we're nerds after all. Cheers, guys, and I'll see you at the multiplex.